Good evening again. Second video for tonight. I wanted to use today's gold movement during the New York session because I want to have a little look in that and do a little bit of zone revision for everyone because I think there's a lot for people to take out of this. Okay, so see how accurate we can get. So what I want to do is just bring up everything really clean on the lower time frame. I think there was so much to take out of this. I've left the watermark on here so you can see where I'm going through the different time frames. And I really want to just highlight some of the areas that I was looking for, where I took some trades from, and where there was a couple of missed opportunities, but like just how important it is to get your zones right from the get-go. Once you get your zones right and prices like ping-ponging, going from liquidity to liquidity area, you can really start to paint a picture of where price is going. We had news today. We had unemployment news that came out at 1:30 or 8:30 a.m. New York time, 1:30 p.m. London time. What I've replayed the data here is just before NY session starts. Now, probably going to be very easy to say, oh, that's all in hindsight, and it's I can only pick these levels because of hindsight, but no, I had these levels here. I've got where I messaged these ideas to specific people. I was in other streams and I said, this is what I'm looking for. And I think take these zones and try to just listen to what areas that I'm talking about and see how I'm drawing them. So we'll go ahead until just before the news. Okay, so this is just before the news. Okay, this is 1:15. I've got a level. I had a level here. Okay, because this is a little support created, little support confirmed. The reason why I'm using these ones is because these are the candles that are trying to wick down and break the candles to the left. Always looking to the left, breaking to the left and pushing bullish. Breaking to the left, pushing bullish. Taking the zone from the low to the open of these guys. Okay. Makes a little zone. We've got a little retest into that area and we push up. We are bearish, heavily bearish on the higher time frames on gold. Heavily bearish. So you're really only looking for sells, but it's too easy to take sells. If price is breaking down, you've got a thing called sell to buy and buy to sell. So if price was just going to have the news come in and then just start pushing down, what do you think is going to happen for people that just take impulsive sells below this area? Most of the time, they're going to get stung because price will pull back on them. Then it will probably tease buys. People will take buys and then price goes down. And you always feel like, oh, I sold the low, I bought the high. You need to flip that thinking. Try to think one step ahead of the market. And it's going to come from how you draw your zones. We've got a support. This is a valid support area. We've got, you could say there's like trend line liquidity. I don't really use I never use trend lines because I'm never really sure how to draw them. But either way, you've got price is like from a retail point of view, you've got price can, however you want to have it, price is sort of bouncing up. So you're going to have people that will be looking and just seeing like swing lows, swing highs, bounces off trend lines, EMAs, whatever you want. You're going to have liquidity underneath these areas. So this is going to be where stop losses are going to be lying. This is going to be areas where it's going to induce sellers into the market. You've got to think that they're trying to induce trades or trigger liquidity points. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against you. It's just simply how this market will move is from liquidity to liquidity. If you're going to put your stop loss there, you're the liquidity. Right? You got to think in line with the market. If you can think in line with how the market moves and play the game that they play, you'll find these patterns are very, very repeatable. Now, where could the other liquidity point be? So the area I was looking at was up here, was this thin black line. I'll go over to what it was. Okay. If we look into this green bit's the New York session, we can see what happened with price. Price came down late yesterday afternoon between 4 5 p.m. London time. Price had a little support. Price pushed up. We created a little resistance. Price pushed down. We closed below that support. We then had a little retest, and then we had some heavy selling from that area. We had a little pause, and we had like a little doji high, and then price pushed down. So that little doji is generating liquidity. It had to pause for a little bit, gather its, just gather itself, and then we had a fairly steep sell off, and we never came back to test this zone. So this is a fresh area. I'll have a look at that on the 3 minute, because I believe it was it was even clearer on the 3 minute. Okay, so let's have a look. It was this point here. Yeah, this is it. So see where that doji, this is that same level. This is that doji on the 5 minute. Look what it is on the 3 minute. It's actually no wick. So you can see really where price broke the support, pushed down, came back up, and then sellers just didn't give, there's no more buying whatsoever. It was just heavy selling, 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 selling. If that's where a lot of people were selling and entering the market, and we only had selling pressure from there, then there's probably going to be residual orders right at that point, which is going to be, if price can push back up to that area, and if it had enough sellers to jump in and push price down there, there's probably leftover orders right here. So this is where it's probably going to have a reaction from. Okay, so that's what that thin black line is. Now, you don't have to say, oh, this is the area it has to go. It could break through that. Maybe you got another level or another level or another level. So you're going to have multiple levels, but you'll start being able to pick better which ones you like more. I really liked that level. I really didn't think there was going to be, I thought maybe you could get up to 1882, but I really thought 79.50 would make a lot of sense, that if we are ranging in this area ahead of this news, okay, you can see all day it had been ranging. All day had been ranging. Where do we think it would make sense that if price is going to be doing a breakout to then come down? Like it would just look like a fake out. It would simply look like a fake out. And the higher you can get in to the move, the better your prime entry is going to be. Okay, so for it to do that, it would make sense to induce sellers, do a sell to buy, get best price, and then this is simply a buy to sell. Areas are all mapped out, all repeatable, all done in the streams that we do pretty much every single morning in London session for German 40. Gold trades the same way. So let's have a look what happened. Okay, we'll go to, I'll go to 3 minute chart. First, before I do that, okay, this is this thicker red area as well. If we look at the same thing, we can go I'm going to have to go back quite far. I'll do it very quickly. So 45 minutes, this 45-minute chart. Let's go all the way to the left. See where this move started. This is back in March, okay, 13th of March. And we've got the same sort of area. We've got a no wick candle. So it's only buying pressure from here. Probably going to be sensitive when we get to this zone. We actually tapped into that late yesterday, and we did have that rebound, and we've just been consolidating above it. So next time it pushes down, it's probably going to do a little bit deeper. So where's a little bit deeper inside of this wick? We'll just have to go to a lower time frame and find it. I'm not going to go to a lower time frame because I'm going to try to keep this shorter, but you can just say that wherever the way that this wick rejected this candle and then we push bullish, it's going to be somewhere inside of this zone. So we could go deeper and refine exactly where it is to pinpoint it, but we also don't need to, because if we're thinking that this could be a support area, if it closes below here, we've got a straight push straight down to the next zone. We've got a no wick candle there, and then we've got a lovely resistance. Oh, this is okay. That's not the one. This is more just rejections. So it's going to be a sensitive area, and this is the absolute lovely area. Actually, I will show, because we are doing a bit of a revision. This video might push a little bit longer than I want, but I think it's very important that we get this right. We'll go to the daily chart for this one. And I've got to find, where am I? Oh, I'm in August 2022. So I want to get to March. Got to go 18. There we go, up here. It's not even on the daily. Sorry, my bad. It's on the 4 hour. Okay, so let's have a look at this zone. Why this zone? Why this zone in particular? This is my rejection wick. Okay, from the high, actually probably even went to the lower. Maybe went to 3 hour. Anyway, high to the this candle, which is the second rejection. Broke to the left and then kept on pushing down. Could use this one as well, actually. Now that I think about it, you could put your zone to there. Either way, it's going to be inside of this zone. Why I've got it here is on the lower time, I think is maybe the 3 hour, but I've got rejection wicks, 4 rejection wicks here. And it just looks nice. It's just because I want to refine this a little bit smaller again anyway, because this is like an 80 pip range, far too big. But I know that once we hit this area, it'll be the first time we've been back this price for over 6 months. I know this is going to be a support zone. If it's heavy bearish, I'm not really looking to take those impulsive buys. It's just I know that price could easily pause at this level. And if we're breaking under this support, we're going to have a pretty steep drop to that area. Maybe a little pause here, but we're going to have a fairly steep drop because this is my main support. This is my second main support. And I've got little tiny ones along the way. Okay, we'll go back to price where we were at because now I've covered that. Go back to the 5 minutes. Go back to current price. Okay, so just a reminder, this area was my support zone. We already tapped into it the previous day over here. So it makes sense we're going to go a little bit lower. We've got a couple little rejection wicks. So I'm not really interested in taking buys anywhere above here. If we're breaking these lows, we'll easily go into there. But once we get down to this area, if I see price action, this is what my confirmation is. I can draw my zone, but if I have price action at this zone, that's my bread and butter. Okay. So let's check with the news. What I was anticipating is that I'd love it to, I don't think we're going to have a good sell-off unless we grab liquidity from the top side. So ideally, we could use that news, push down, think people have made the high of the day, then we can push up, grab liquidity, and then we can push down. So we're going to follow something like down, up, down, and then maybe we can pause for a little bit because we've still got a lot of volume going to come in at NYSE or even the hours after NYSE. We know we get volume late these days. So that's the kind of plan I had going into it. I just had to draw zones and create a framework that I'd be happy to follow. Okay, so next candle. We've got to get another one. Perfect. This is a typical news setup where you've got a push up, prices come down, and we stall. This is where the news is coming out, and we've got an area of liquidity above, an area of liquidity below. Very typical news push, news setup. A lot of people would just be looking at that and just go sell stops, buy stops. And that makes it, you could do that if you've got good latency. Be aware of the slippage. What I was preferring is that if price can wick down into the zone, I'll take a buy, into this area, take a sell, down into this area again, get price action, take a buy. I actually did put a pending order in. I put a pending order right at 74.50. Okay, right around this wick, targeting that area. That was my trade, and the news opened, pushed down, and then just smashed up. Unfortunately, the spread didn't allow my trade to be triggered, so it was a real freaking pain because spread widened, couldn't get into the trade. It just moved too quick. Spread was too wide at that stage. This would have just been, I would have been absolutely thrilled if I'd captured that one as well, but I didn't. But the idea was there and made a whole lot of sense. Go to the 1 minutes here quickly. Oh yeah, I already had drawn it actually. Yeah, that was where the trade, I tried to get the trade. Didn't trigger because of the spread, unfortunately. And anyway, it is what it is. Now it got to this area, and I was like, oh, you know what, it makes sense because if we are triggering this, and the news came out a bit mixed, we're in a range, we're in a downtrend. What I was happy to take was a bit of a cowboy kind of trade here, trusting this zone that if I can get a entry here plus a bearish candle, I'd be very good for the sells, at least down to the news open. Okay, the news open. That was the idea behind this one. Executed on the sell. Okay, because I trust the zone. Little doji, then price started pushing down. If you wanted to wait and pause, you could have taken it on the break of that candle, risking, maybe 20 pips or something like that to make 30, 40 pips or so. You know, I'm fine with those kind of trades. Get better risk reward if you can get the little higher the entry, but you kind of got to trust your levels. Price just dropped, you know. Price dropped. It was really, really nice trade. Then what made sense was once we had picked up that liquidity, if this is indeed a fake out, because now you're anticipating that this is going to be a fake out. What I was hoping was price. The reason I got out here is because I thought price might come back up to 78 and then sell off again. And that was kind of my plan. Why I thought it would come back up to 78 is because of the 1 minute time frame. The 1 minute time frame was this guy. It just pushed straight down. And I thought, oh, well, because there was only sellers here, price pushed down. I thought there would still be a bit more residual liquidity here. I thought price maybe pull back and then do the drop. So I was very happy with this trade, but I thought I might get a retrace and then go down again. And then that would have been ideal. This is already 40 odd pips. And I know myself personally, I need to work on holding the trades longer. But I thought I really thought I was going to get another entry here. Price pushed down. Now, because it didn't retrace, I thought, well, it makes sense now that we can go from here. Because I didn't get any entry, it's because it didn't pull back to go with the move down. I thought, well, if it's going to have a support here, I thought maybe now it's a good chance to go back up. So that was the idea, to go back up, because this is my zone. Now I'm looking for price action. I've got a rejection candle. It's not enough for me to execute on this one because we're in a, I don't want to take a real scalp buy, impulsive buy in a downtrend. That don't make sense. But if we've got a liquidity candle here, plus a little pause, if I can get another liquidity candle, I might be quite interested in this one. I've got to be careful it doesn't break out. So entry for this guy was waiting for a second confirmation. Okay. I want to see a candle break the candle to the left and then close bullish. Don't have that just yet. I've only got one, but now we're in this liquidity area where this candle is. Can I create a support? That's what I'm looking for. Price pushes, oh no, nothing, little doji candle. Then price did this one. Great. All right. Now I've got a support created. Little 1 minute support created from this low to this open, going across. Now, anticipation entry could be breaking the high, or wait for it to break the highs here and then come back and do another retest. Maybe that's another option. Okay, so the way this candle moved up with basically minimal wick. So as it was pushing up into these rejection wicks area, as it pushed up with basically minimal wick, I thought, okay, well, it's probably got a good chance it's going to come down again because it left with no wick. Same idea that I had for this one. Okay, so then price did come down. Okay, and I entered on this one as it was rejecting and retesting and taking the liquidity underneath this no wick candle. Price then did a little bit of funny business, created liquidity for 3 candles, 1 minute candles, pushed into this wick again. This is do or die now for this one. It's either going to stop me out or it's going to go. So pretty confident that this one was going to be all right, basically because of the level, because of the timing, and the end of the 4-hour candle. Price started pushing bullish, and from there, as long as we can leave these wicks, had good confidence in this one. So price started moving. Really, really nice. Okay, where I was going to hold that trade to, well, we've got basically this was my danger period for this candle already. I really thought we can get up to here, close majority of the trade at this point, because I don't want to sacrifice such a good trade just for the sake of trying to get another 15 odd pips, another 15 pips, even though I've got a good one. Price could have turned around anywhere at this stage. So it made a lot of sense to exit here, and then just live with the results. Runner got stopped out on this guy. Okay. Then there was another, you see, I'll go through a little bit longer, but no wick candle, price came back up, had a little rejection at this no wick candle. Then price came up, pushed a little bit higher, started rejecting. We had, if I go to the 5 minute from here, 5 minute or 3 minute. Nah, 5 minutes, that's fine. Okay, we finally got the rejection. Price, okay, came up, came down, and then we had another rejection. Perfect. So we've got a resistance followed by another rejection candle. So you've got a second resistance here now. When you see these rejections, you can pretty much anticipate the high probability support will break. And if this support is going to be breaking, got a long way down, a long way down. Okay. So price then just tanked. So I think it was pretty beautiful price action in all. Just had to find a starting point and tried to think about how the move was going to play out. See how it paused in this zone already. Okay. Then we finally break underneath it. And then we've got downtown. So bounced off this level. Yeah. Came back up as it respected. And then, yeah, price is just doing its thing now. So little bit of a longer one. I just really wanted to give a little bit of education about these zones, how I was drawing them and my line of thinking. And you can see like how effective this all is. So this is what we're doing a lot more now of in this in HaydosFX. So I hope you guys enjoy it, learn a lot, take something from it. Leave a like, leave a comment, give us a subscribe. And that's it. Okay. Best of luck. See you soon.